Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Dave.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are looking at something you have probably felt. If you have ever built software, you're maybe 3 weeks into a prototype
I
and
feel like an absolute genius.
right, exactly. You are shipping features rapidly and then bam, velocity just hits zero. You try to add one integration and the whole thing collapses.
You hit the paywall.
Hmm.
And we aren't talking about credit cards here. We are talking about the complexity barrier.
Where good ideas go to die.
Because a solo developer just cannot scale past that prototype phase without completely drowning in technical debt.
It is the classic startup trap. You build for speed, but you sacrifice structure. So if you are a solo dev looking to scale or even just getting started with the development workflows, you need a real solution.
Which is exactly what we are unpacking today. It's called the Caris Stack.
Described in the source as a hardened architecture protocol.
The promise here is massive. It allows a single person to build with the discipline and safety of a 5-person enterprise engineering pod.
And the brain behind this is fascinating. The author, Brandon Caris, isn't your typical Silicon Valley CTO. He is actually an executive healthcare consultant.
And a registered nurse.
Right. Which seems random, but it's actually the linchpin of the whole system.
He is applying clinical algorithms to software development. Think about it. In a hospital, a checklist isn't a friendly suggestion. It is a legal requirement because lives are at stake.
You don't just wing it in the ER.
Exactly. Caris is arguing we need to treat our code with that exact same level of do no harm rigor.
Which brings us to step 1 of the stack, the Constitution. This is basically a direct response to how messy AI coding gets.
It addresses the yes man problem. If you ask an AI for a feature, it prioritizes speed. It gives you code that works right now, but inevitably breaks tomorrow.
So the Caris stack shifts from trusting the AI to legislating it.
You establish 4 core files: system rules, architecture skills, and external libs.
So instead of treating the AI like a magic wand, you treat it like a junior employee on a strict improvement plan.
It has to read the employee handbook,
Right.
those senior architect files, before it is allowed to write a single line of code.
It is strict governance, but where this gets really technically impressive is step 2, the AST-aware semantic bundler.
Right, because most people just paste their entire code base into a chat window and hope for the best.
Which is super noisy.
It wastes the context window on white space and comments and formatting fluff. This stack uses a Python script to parse your code into an abstract syntax tree,
Or ASD.
which distills the code down to its pure semantic logic. It feeds the AI the actual structure of your app without the token bloat.
You are giving the AI a blueprint instead of a novel.
Exactly, maximizing density.
That handles the AI side, but humans are still the weak link. So looking at step 3, the hard gate section, Caris is implementing digital malpractice prevention.
The physical enforcement layer. This isn't just a style guide you can ignore. The stack uses custom lint to physically lock down your IDE.
So if you try to import a banned legacy library,
The system refuses to compile, period.
it effectively removes the option for you to be lazy.
And it doesn't stop there. Step 4 routes your code based on risk. When you push it, it calculates a complexity score. If it's simple or fast, AI checks it. But if that score ticks over 20,
It triggers a mandatory audit.
a senior architect audit. It is automated quality control mimicking a human review.
Yeah.
You literally cannot merge bad code.
It forces you to write cleaner components just to avoid the hassle of the audit. I love that. I want to pivot to the testing philosophy, though. Shift-left threat modeling sounds intense.
The stack calls this the horror path. Most developers test the happy path. Does the button work when I click it?
Right.
The Caris stack assumes the user is an agent of chaos. Step 5 automatically generates malicious JSON payloads.
We are talking SQL injections and massive data blobs.
Garbage inputs. It uses a tool called Patrol to pipe these nightmare scenarios directly into the UI.
So it's not just checking if the app crashes.
It checks how it crashes. The goal is a graceful failure. No raw stack trace is exposed to the user, just a safe-handled error.
The discipline totally extends to the visual side, too. There's a distinct philosophy here labeled anti-slop.
Messy code leads to messy interfaces. Caris strictly rejects generic material design or bootstrap templates.
The stack mandates exponential typography and a Swiss international style.
High contrast. Bold, rigid. If you are building enterprise-grade architecture, the UI should look intentional.
So zooming out, the Caris stack isn't really a template in the traditional sense.
No, it is a scaling engine. It turns a solo developer into an enterprise team by automating the discipline that usually requires senior staff.
It completely solves the paywall by ensuring you never accrue the technical debt in the first place. It's the difference between building a prototype and a real product.
And it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought for the AI era. True power does not come from the generation of code. It comes from the strict constraints you place upon it.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.